Hello and welcome to the Orca Pod, the apex predators of Survivor LRG podcasting. I am on holiday at the beach, but the podcast never stops. The orcas never stop. We are still here bringing you the fantastic coverage of Backyard Survivor One Well, episode 3. And joining me, as always, is my fantastic co-host. Let me welcome Dani.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to yourself. And Jules, welcome.
Hello. We haven't podcasted all year, guys.
Oh my God. You're the worst.
What do you mean we forgot? What? Sorry, I missed your joke.
You missed my dad joke.
All year.
Yeah. Eden's excited at the beach. Well, that's where the orcas go, right? At the beach. So
I'm going to go overseas, but all right.
We love to go to the end. But I think what we'll do, because we have a pre-recorded interview with the boot, let's talk about redemption. We'll get that interview playing, and then we'll get into the episode. Do you guys want to talk about the sad end of my boy Tommy?
Oh, darling.
Tommy.
I mean, it was going to happen. I didn't really see him beating many people, depending on what it was. At the beginning of the challenge, I was like, oh, because Luke looked so confused.
He actually had the correct strategy.
He did.
He did the challenge properly. He literally, the first piece he moved was wrong, and everything else he did was wrong after that.
The strategy was right on, and Luke's self-professed not very smart. I think that's a little bit of a cover, but that's what he says. And it took him a while to get it. Now, I have got some inside goss on this challenge from Kyle.
Mm.
It looked like they did a good job, right? It took them 18 minutes.
Oh, God.
So neither of them were doing a good job. Neither of them.
Well, it looked like Tommy knew what he was doing and just set it up wrong.
They made him look good. They made him look good. They definitely made it look good. But yeah, 18 minutes. The dream team was running at about 5 minutes, apparently.
Eden is very upset by this.
I know I've done that puzzle. I've never done it something like with big boxes, but I've done it with the rings. I can do it in probably 90 seconds.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, let's
the solution. It's not that hard.
Let's hear what Tommy had to say about the challenge, the episode, his time on Backyard, and then we'll come back and talk about the rest of the episode. I had this already. Sorry, everybody. Here we go. Hi, Tommy. Welcome to the Orca Pod. So great to have you on the show. I think you did a fantastic... What you said at the end, I think, was really powerful. No one wants to go on these things and be the first boot. And I could imagine the difficulty of that happening to me. But having to me at the age of 18, as you were at the time, and then having such a level head about it being a learning moment and making you stronger, I felt was really, really powerful. How hard was it for you to go on this sort of fulfill your dream and have it end so quickly?
Yeah, first of all, it's good to be here, CK. And I'd say it was pretty hard. At the age of 18, I was still in high school at that point. And to get voted out with the whole tribe, it was quite confronting. And, somewhat devastating being a super fan of the show since the age of 13. But honestly, when I can't remember if it was Kyle or Brian who snuffed my torch, but when they did that, there was just this, I don't know, sense of relief. Not so much that the game was over, but just wow, I'm on Backyard Survivor. That's when it really clicked with me. I was like, holy shit, this is so surreal. But yeah, it was, after losing the redemption challenge, I was oof. And, you feel that proper defeat of it's all over now. It was definitely hard, but I knew at the end of the day, it's just a game. And I'm very proud of myself for, having the maturity to know that.
I was particularly impressed with your maturity. As I said, I think it would have been very difficult to handle. We've done a lot of the coverage of these different seasons, Backyard and other seasons, and often the first boot isn't even interested in coming on for the interview, which is fine. Like I understand that. So the fact that you're here again speaks a level of maturity and comfort with your position and yourself more than people that are older than you that have been first boots on other seasons. Um,
Mm.
I think, how have you felt in reflection after the fact? Because personally, I feel it was a combination of two things why you got voted out. What's your reflection on why you got voted out? And then maybe I'll tell you what I think. You were there, so you probably know better, but I'll still tell you what I think.
Yeah, oh geez, from what I can remember, I believe like, from the get-go, like for me, it came down to just like not making the connections right away. So, right off the bat, it's like, everyone's like scrambling, talking in the bush, and we're all introducing ourselves to each other. And I was very reserved. I noticed like in the edit, like I had my arms crossed all the time. I was like, come on. um, I find it hard to, um, be in like large social settings. And I don't know, I feel like at that point in my life, when I was on Backyard, I wasn't like so much into Survivor at that point. And um, when I sort of came on, I was sort of thinking like, oh yeah, I'll take it easy, I guess. But it was something I came to regret because, when it came to crunch time, I couldn't, get the votes on Mark or whatever. So yeah, I think it fundamentally just came to that. I know I made mistakes along the way, like when DC confronted me. And the funny thing about that was when he asked me that I threw his name. I think like in the moment I was like caught off guard, but I think because like the idea of like DC's name came from the girls, the hair braid alliance. Yeah. We were thinking like the strong, well, strong boys and that, and I think like being caught off guard with DC in that moment, I actually like started to subconsciously believe that it was me who threw it out there.
Okay.
Because like I was reinforcing it because I really liked that plan. I said it's Luke, and I think that's why Luke told DC, because I reckon that's my prediction that he did. I haven't asked him, but I think he might have thought of himself like, oh, maybe if I'm a strong bloke, maybe I should tell the other ones. But yeah, I mean, like, and it shows like, when Takan like confronted Mark about throwing his name and, he fessed up. I mean, he did have the pre-established relationship with him, but like that shows like a good player and like a bad player. What I did where I didn't fess up and I didn't explain myself at all, and made myself look even more incredibly guilty, while Mark played it cool in that. So I respect that, and I watch it back and I'm like, well, that's dumb, but it's pretty entertaining, not gonna lie.
I think that's really strong reflection. You weren't to know that Luke was immediately going to literally turn around and stab you in the back and say you threw out the name when you actually said you heard the name. They're very different things. And yeah, as you say, you probably didn't react to it in the best manner. And I think it's a really good comparison to see how Mark handled the similar situation in the same episode. I think you're right about your connections. We've talked about on this program before that the first boot is generally nothing to do with the actual person. Like someone says a name and everyone's happy with that name because it's not them. But when you build connections with people, someone will say, no, I don't want to vote out Tommy. like Tara was saying about Takan, for example, right? So once you build those relationships, someone's willing to say, no, I don't want to do that. And that just shifts the discussion because no one really cares about the person. It's just about not being them at that early phase, particularly in a big vote like that. And I think the thing that really doomed you, and I think that this is really just bad luck, is
Mm.
the twist with the idols and that you had Mark had you on his list, and Mark was the sort of player that was prepared to drive the vote to get that idol for his outcome. And the other people, Zoe and Tara, weren't interested in doing that for their own particular reasons. Tara, because she wanted to reduce her threat level, and Zoe, because she wasn't interested in those sorts of games. She was playing it chill. So you just had the bad luck of being on the list of the guy that was going to go hard for that idol.
No, absolutely. Yeah, because Mark, he's a big game player and, being like on location when we were filming, like I knew he was going for me somewhat, not really, but yeah, to watch it back and I was like, oh, interesting. I guess that's kind of unlucky, but I
Yeah.
felt like, yeah, same circumstances of just like not having the pre-established um, relationships and not like, getting in right away. I felt like I was, doomed myself, and that's why I don't really like hold a grudge against anyone
Yeah.
because it's an easy vote. Go for the guy who's the most shy. Absolutely, that's fine. And I think like I'm not really hard on myself anymore because it's like, well, I still had fun, and it was I don't know, that was pretty fucking out there for me at the time. Because yeah, I'm pretty introverted.
It's a huge achievement for you to apply, to get cast, to fly all the way across the country to be on this thing at 18. And a lot of people wanted to be on this season. This is unlike the early LRGs where it was, Kyle and Brian's mates that they were getting on the
Yeah.
show. Or even like seasons 2 and 3 when they would have had a decent number of applicants. The amount of people applying to be on these shows now is, through the roof. I applied to be on your season. I didn't get on.
Mm.
I know similar people in the same boat. You should be so proud that they wanted to put you on the show. That's a huge achievement in itself. It really is. It's not the same as getting on the real deal, but it's getting close with the amount of applicants they get for these shows now.
No, absolutely. Like, yeah, we're at a point now with Backyard where it just feels professional because like when I discovered the show, it was like I watched all of season one. I was around for that. I watched it a few times over, and then one day I just like randomly commented on the finale, like a few YouTube comments. And then when season two came about, I was like, oh, let's do a weekly thing now that I know that this is a show that exists. And I like that it's set in Australia and that, and the hosts and that are cool. So Cole and Brian actually offered me to like apply for season four. They're like, oh, I'll give it a go. And I was like, yeah, sure. But I was 16 at the time. Actually, I was 15, turned 16. And they were like,
Yeah, actually
um,
18.
yeah, pretty much. So I was like, oh, yeah, no big deal. And then, yeah, as time went on, I sort of became less invested in Survivor and that. But when they asked me, I was like, well, I got to do it. Like, it's definitely a parasocial thing, like having this sort of like feeling like you have this connection with these guys who just run a show, and you're engaging, not even direct, oh, at times directly to them and the cast members, but you're commenting on the show and that, and I felt like, I wanted to play, but I felt like a lot of it was also like, I feel like if they really want me to give this a go, I feel like, this would be like the ultimate thing, like, having his Tommy on the show as my name was. So I was like, all right. And even though when I lost, and I was worried like, oh, let him down. That and did I let myself down? You know, being like the guy who comments on all the videos and then I like do one of the worst performances in the show after judging all these people. But then, you know, I felt like it was a good, you know, Tommy arc. He gave it a go, and even though he didn't succeed in other ways, you know, as corny as it sounds, I did actually get to know Carl and Brian further in person and make friends with people like Tara and that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got a lot out of it.
You became a part of the community, and I think not just because becoming part of the community, being a player, no one can ever take it away that you were a player in one of these seasons. You know, the person that I met, which was after the filming of this, the person that I drafted was not the same person that I watched on that show. I could see the experience that you learned just by being on that season had allowed you to learn and grow and mature. I remember being at the Playing with Fire live finale viewing and after show, and I was one of the first people there, and I was there with Liz, and you came in quite early by yourself, and you came up and introduced yourself to me. You're like, "Oh, are you CK?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, you were really cool on the show. Like, I enjoyed watching you. Like, you had no problem coming up to me, who you probably saw as this big, like, bold personality, introducing yourself, giving me some feedback, and then obviously I've talked about." You came back to Chloe's house and we played Drunk Viver, and you're playing with all these older people who are all there just having a good time. Tara, JP, Chloe, her husband, Max, Brady, Billy, all these sorts of people. And you know, you threw yourself into Laurel, you threw yourself into it, and we only voted you out because you were sort of passing out, but also because we thought you were going to win. Everyone like, who is this
Yeah.
young kid here who's like just thrown himself into this absolute, completely random situation? This guy's going to the end, he's going to win. And it's just such a different person to the person I saw on the show. And I don't think there was that much difference in time between the two of them. So the growth, I think, just from that very couple of days, I saw it in the real life.
Oh, that's good to know, man. Because yeah, no, it wasn't a long period of time in between those events, and I feel like because like now from backyard, it's been like almost 2 years, and you know, I feel like I've changed a lot. Like I've like fully moved to Melbourne and that now, and I've finished high school, and yeah, like because it was hard to watch that high school self back.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like you know, cringing a lot and stuff. But yeah, like I think it's great that I've had growth, and I think I think at any age, you know, you can continue to grow on that. So, you know, you can throw yourself into something and yeah, just learn a lot from it. And I think yeah, life's all about just educating yourself and keep learning and you know meet people because I think yeah, you can never stop growing
Exactly.
growing up.
You can never stop learning and growing. Those are great words. I want to ask you one final question before we go. It's the same question I kept asking at Drunk Fiver at Chloe's house. Like, does this kid's
Ooh.
parents know where he is? Uh, you're 18. Obviously, you're a grown up. You're an adult. You can do what you want to do. But were your parents very supportive of you flying all the way to Australia? I imagine they helped pay for that, like to fly across Australia if you to compete in this thing. What was their view of the whole thing?
Well, my dad was pretty psyched about it because, like, he was a huge fan of Survivor since, like, you know, the Australian Outback season. I think pretty much like when Survivor almost started, and we watched like pretty much as much Survivor content as we could when I was in high school. That was kind of our show together, and we watched Aussie Survivor and a bit of South African,
Yeah.
bit of New Zealand, and yeah, he was stoked. My mum was a bit concerned, as she usually is with stuff like this. But I was like, no, they're not murderers. It should be all right. It's all legit. It's like you know, it's like going on a proper TV show.
Yeah,
It's all legal and stuff. But no, they did not pay for it. All came from out of my pocket.
Oh wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, an amazing story of growth. I really congratulate you on what you've learned, how you've taken the thing. Coming on the show, as I say, a lot of first boots don't feel comfortable with it, and I get it. So thank you for, showing that maturity and growth. I think you're probably the youngest person to ever play one of the Australian LRGs, and that's something that you'll be able to hold proud as a record for a long time. And the way you've held that on your shoulders so maturely, I think is something to be really proud of. So I want to congratulate you on that, Tommy, and thanks for coming on. And look, I don't regret drafting you for a second. I like that kid that I met at Drunk Fiver, and I wanted him on my team. Didn't work out, but I'm still happy with the decision.
No, thanks, man. And yeah, it's been good to be here and talk to you. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks, Tommy. We'll catch up soon.
All right, see you.
You're muted.
Sweet boy.
That was
so
Tommy.
nice.
That was his interview. I think that was a lovely story here. Great to see his comments were fantastic. Thank you, everyone watching live, dropping those comments in about his glow up and everything that's gone right for Tommy since this very ill-fated event on Backyard Survivor. Now we move on to, of course, I got the age wrong, and who better to come in with that than the resident statistician of Australian LRGs, Eden, People's Champion, who said that Jake and I think, according to Liz and Casper, were both 17. So what are you doing, Carl, putting 17-year-old on? Risky. As not your lawyer, I don't recommend putting 17-year-old on first. Anyway, let's get on with this episode. We were already having a furious debate backstage.
Or do you want to go straight to the boot?
That's what we do.
I mean, there's a lot to cover in this episode.
There's a lot to cover.
We go to the boot. That's what we do. Boot, boot, boot. I want to talk about the boot. And I think this was
you and I are about to have a heated debate, I think.
Number one, this move was a new level of savagery to the savagery they did to poor little Tommy. The way they just savaged Kath out of the game here. And
someone's got to go. That's not that savage.
But I just think, look, that's right. Leave your hearts at the door, play smart, play strategic. I just think this was the absolute wrong move for Zoe and for Jess.
I completely disagree.
Well, I will make my case.
The correct move.
I'll make my case. Then you can make your case.
You make your case, and I'll prove you wrong.
Okay, so Kath is clearly an emotional player. She's talking about emotional circumstances that have led her into the game in terms of some recent family issues. She clearly just wants to be there as badly as she can be, and she's clearly not a strategic player. She's a loyal player. She's an emotional player. Now, Jess and Zoe can bring her in, and if they manage to survive and get through another round, then they have someone that will stick with them, thick with them for the rest of the game because of the loyalty that they showed her at that emotional, vulnerable moment, which is what's really important to her. Mel, on the other hand, who we all know and love, is a very, very savvy, smart, strategic player. She will dump Jess and Zoe at the first correct opportunity to dump them. I'm not saying there will be a correct opportunity to dump them, but if there is a correct time for her to do it, she will do it without skipping a beat. Equally, if I am individually Jess or Zoe, and I think Jess more so, Zoe seems to have a relationship with Mel more so than Jess. If we do lose another challenge, well, then we're booting Kath. And it's the two of us, right? And then we're probably going to get swapped into the other two tribes, I would anticipate, if that were to occur. So
she's very upset with you.
Well, look, she's accepting that she wasn't strategic at the moment. Like, yes, I'm not saying you're not strategic. The player I saw on the screen was not strategic, and that's what I think you've confirmed to me as well, that she would be able to bring her in, and they could boot her next time, and there wouldn't be a fear, and I think there could be a fear that Mel could work her magic on one of these people and even flip them out of that alliance. So I think for everyone concerned other than Mel, this was the wrong move.
Okay. So you're talking about how Mel has got connections on the other side and is more likely to flip. The problem is these girls, regardless of what happens moving forward, they're going to go into any merge or swap low in numbers. They're not going to have a majority. You want someone who has those connections to be able to bring someone into that alliance. If there's someone on the other tribe that is on the bottom, Mel is the better person to bring that person across than Kath is. Or the Kath that we saw at the time. I'm not saying Kath in general, because I'm going to agree with you that yeah, I like what Eden's saying, that the reason that Zoe and Jess are so close is because they're wearing the same shirt. They even mentioned it in this episode. But yes, the Kath we saw was probably not in a position to be able to flip someone else across onto their side. I think, yes, with someone who has more connections, you are at risk of her just flipping away from you, but they're going to need other people to join them. That's just the way it's gone for them. They've lost 2 in a row. And I think Mel is going to have a slight advantage over Kath in challenge performance. So I think if they had kept Kath, they are pretty much guaranteed to be going straight back to tribal and getting rid of Kath anyway. I think with Mel, you've got a better chance to be able to survive the next challenge and have the 3 of them go into the next stage together.
I don't think they're going to win the next challenge either. I don't think Kath
Well, then
is
that's
any
the point, really.
No, but I've said there's a risk in Mel working her voodoo, onto Zoe or Jess to make the other one flip on the other one. I think that's a risk for either of them. More so Jess. I think Zoe's the one that Mel would be working. I could already see Mel working her magic on her in this episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about that. Those two are the fact that they are wearing the same shirt and they are very similar age. I think they're going to be one of the closest pairs in the game moving forward, especially when you consider the fact that they're what they've been through at this point.
The vibe I got is they're not as close as you do work your voodoo on me, CK. You got invited to my birthday party. I met you like once. My 40th birthday party. It's because you were in town. This is your voodoo, Mel. I do think there's a risk there, and I also do think that we would have a situation where, I must say though, I was actually, I was saying last week, I knew Luke was going. That was obvious. You can't trick me, Carl and Brian. I was tricked here. I actually thought Mel was going. I thought all this extra stuff about them misunderstanding the shot in the dark was actually going to result in Mel getting booted because they didn't understand the shot in the dark, and that's why Mel hates the shot in the dark so much. That's what I was manifesting.
She already hated it, to be fair, but yes, that would have made it even worse.
But she was calling it shit in the dark because, oh my God, they didn't even understand that, she didn't even have a vote. She couldn't play the shot in the dark.
But okay, so let's get into that. But she clarifies that at tribal council.
Why?
Do we think that?
Why,
that's exactly. I'm like, why? I wrote fuck Kath. I really want to know in that moment, was that then they went, yes, it's definitely going to be Kath because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Was it going to be Mel? And then as soon as Kath said, I can't play my shot in the dark, they went, oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they're here. I'm hoping that because I was like, Kath, what are you doing? Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that. At this point in time, I am not telling them I can't play my shot in the dark. I'm saying, well, obviously I'm going to play my shot in the dark because I'm feeling at risk here to make them on edge.
James Wolfe has put up a great comment. It's a bit long, but I also agree with this point. Absolutely. This is counter to what Jules was saying earlier about Mel being able to bring in people. When you're a small tribe, you don't need to be able to bring in people. People will pick you up. You're not threatening. This isn't like old school Survivor. These LRGs, people play more of a new school Survivor. Everyone's a big player. No one's sticking with tribal lines. People looking to make moves. If you're a small group, you're less threatening. You'll get picked up.
I also don't feel like Jess and Zoe will have any problems picking up Alliance members. They're young.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. They don't need to do
that. From the get-go, they were 2 names that most people felt quite comfortable with. Everyone wanted a piece of them. I don't think they need Mel to make connections.
No, I'll agree with that.
So I'm pouring out for Kath. Look, Jess is savage, right? After Kath's breaking down to her about, her family situation and how emotional it is and how tough it is, and then she's crying. Honestly, I like to think of myself as a strategic player, but if I was picking between these 2 people and one of them was emotionally that affected by the game, I think I'd just boot the other one. I'll just boot the next one next time, whatever. But I would actually be moved enough to save that person, I feel.
It would be very hard to do that at that moment. I would be like,
yeah.
Oh.
Not over my ally, not over someone I've made an alliance.
No. I completely. But when it's one or the other, does it matter one way or the other?
Carl's saying they said they would not cry this season. Yeah, well, that ship has sailed.
Yeah,
I think every single person at that tribe was crying.
If they weren't, they're cold-hearted.
They wouldn't have been crying if they were booting Mel. They could have felt a lot better about themselves. Do we want to talk about maybe flowing back now to the summit and how that impacted.
Well, no, let's go all the way back to the beginning of the episode. I would like to.
Yeah.
Because some feedback that I got about this very podcast is that we have been too nice. Normally, we are the podcast that call shit out. Now,
Look, I have some things to say about this episode too. So let's.
Yes, my argument has been that there hasn't been really anyone doing anything super dumb for us to criticize. And Takan heard that and said, "Hold my beer," because he made the dumbest move you can make. Now, I'm all for sharing advantages. I think it's a great way to build social capital, to show someone you trust them. This is the one advantage you do not tell a soul. You take that shit to your grave.
Absolutely.
And Tara's face said it all when he shared that he has the legacy advantage. It was fantastic.
I was just like, no. The whole time it was bringing it up, I was like, stop it.
Stop it. Say you've got something else. Lie.
Anything. Oh.
I actually disagree. I've talked about this already. I disagree about the legacy advantage's power. It is the one idol when you say, I'm going to play it for the group, that you might actually believe. Because, number one, you can only play it at 2 predetermined times. Mm-hmm. And most likely you're going to be played. If you don't play it at that first time, I think then it's a big risk. Then people are going to take you out for it. You need to play it on that first occasion. But if you play it on that first occasion, which is going to potentially be at a critical time, maybe there's mergers, maybe you don't know. You play it there for the group. If they vote you out, you send it to someone that's not them. Like, fuck all those people. I'm sending it to death.
Takan doesn't have that energy. Takan's not going, fuck everybody for voting me out. He's saying that to his ally back on his tribe because he fully believes they did not vote him out. Tarkan is Maddie P incarnate. They are like twin souls. There's no fucking way Takan goes, you fuck these people. Maddie P and Tarkan are like the same soul. I swear to God, I'm watching Maddie P on my screen again.
Kate is asking an interesting question. Would you keep someone around for the idol? I'm assuming she means for the legacy advantage. And
yes,
I think
that's what I'm saying.
You have to fully trust that person, though. Because at this point of the game, you have to assume there's going to be a swap. And if you get separated from this person and then you end up, you don't know what's going to happen. Is Takan going to be the person that you are ride or die with? If not, then that's not a reason to keep him. It's a reason to get rid of him.
No, this is fine. Like, this is 2 options here. Number one is you're still together at the vote that he can play it on, and you say you play it now so that it's out, it's gone, right? The other option is, you get to emerge. Let's say you're in a swap and you don't trust him. Just throw him out of the bus. Say he's got a legacy advantage. You know what I mean? Like,
Eden, thank you so much.
Amen. Absolutely. Sorry.
Put that comment up when I'm in the middle of train of thought. Thank you, Danny. Wait till I finish. So you throw Takan under the bus if he's not with you. He's got a legacy advantage. He's not going to give it to me because I'm about to burn him. So, like, I'm not going to get it, but let's get rid of him because he's got this advantage. But also, he can bequeath it to someone. You're better off knowing where it is than not knowing where it is. There is so many reasons to reveal this advantage because it's not that strong of an advantage. But it is very threatening if he doesn't play it on the first occasion. If he saves it for the final 6, then it's incredibly threatening. And I think you need to be very careful. If I'm Takan, I am playing it the first chance I get.
I'm not revealing
one thing you're forgetting to. Well, sorry, you go, Danny.
If you're going to reveal, I'm not revealing it to the group.
No,
like I'm not that was the stupid decision. If I'm unsure about who I want here, I'm going to grab 1, maybe 2 people, pull them in, and discuss it then. So I'm not telling anyone about it if I ever got it. But if I was to, I'm not telling the whole fucking tribe about it.
I actually disagree on this too because I think this is the worst advantage to tell one person about. That's when you get Sarah Lacinid.
This is true.
You tell DC about it, and he's like, if I can engineer a Tarkan vote out where I don't vote for him, he's just going to give me this freaking thing, right? Like,
the thing with telling anyone
to share with one person.
People are greedy as fuck. So people are going to try and vote him out to try and get their hands on this.
But he won't give it to them. Why would he? I know you're not saying fuck you, but like, if literally this whole tribe votes him out, he is not going to give it to one of them.
I don't think this whole tribe does vote him out. I think we have players in this who pretend they don't, like who Sarah Lacina it without realizing it, like without being a one person who knows it. I don't think it will be a dump on Takan. It will be a split vote, and then he bequeaths it to someone who he thinks didn't vote for him.
Well, then it's just DC. DC's going to get it.
Well, we talk about
This is
the-
alliance.
Well, yeah, for me, I don't think we're getting enough of Takan confessionals about who he's strongly aligned with, because I don't know. One minute you think he's closer with the girls, the next minute you think he's closer with DC. So I would like a bit more information about where his head's at with that.
Wasn't he the one saying to DC that it's going to be the girls versus the boys? And
But DC had already said that to him.
He said, do we get the girls and vote out coach, or do we take in coach and get with one of the girls? Takan was having that very conversation with DC. It seemed like a legitimate
DC has already brought that up with him, but also if he is right with the girls, he needs to see where
He's
DC's
a man
at.
himself. But then we also see, like, in the coming up on, we see Tarkan have a confessional talking about, is it time to flip on the girls? That's in the next time on.
Okay.
So I hopefully we'll get a little bit more of that in the next episode.
I like that DC also confronted Takan about the other advantage, which gave Takan the ability to confess that it was pieces of paper, and DC seemed to believe that.
Yes, he did. He took it in. There was no confessional saying he didn't believe him, so I assume he just went.
I
Especially
think
if Takan emptied his pockets and was like, look, it was rubbish. That's fine.
I think those two are tight as. I think they're locked in. I think they are absolutely like number ones with each other.
Yeah, okay. Now that you guys have said all this, I am starting to think that if we get a pink tribal, it's going to be all on coach, and that's the worst thing for him.
Yeah. Can I just say while we're on pink, and I meant to mention this last week, but I didn't have notes. I love the way the pink buff molds into Kate's hat.
Cute.
It just looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the best buff on hat I think I've ever seen. Because sometimes the buff on hat looks really stupid. Like DC, it looks a bit stupid. But on Kate, it looks magnificent. So I love the combination there, Kate.
Eden, I'm manifesting a 2-2-1 for pink. I could see that.
It's
a shame that coach already played his shot in the dark, because I could see a 2-2-0 with him playing his shot in the dark.
If anyone can pull off a 2-2-1 in that scenario, it'd be Tara. Work your magic, Tara.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but then they still have to revote.
Do we want to talk about anything more about pink? I had Tara's.
We had Tara and Kate both. We're confirming that we've got the two girls definitely close.
They
Tara
take the
wants to
water
get rid of
ladle.
DC. They stole the ladle. I love that.
Giggles. That was fun.
Yeah, that's all I've really got for them before we go to orange.
No, let's go to orange. Orange is super interesting.
You're welcome, Kate.
I feel like this is a very, very interesting, very fluid, moving tribe. I love the flashback of the conversations from the last challenge, where you see Altus telling the guys about his idol. Mark telling
everyone except Altus.
Now, was this a mistake? Confession time at the challenge. Well, next week they're thinking about flipping on Mark. So is this a mistake or not? The Boondogs.
Okay, I confess I didn't watch the next time on. I don't think so. I think the biggest thing he has going for him is that it's a pre-merge idol. And I don't know if he told them that, but an idol that is going to be expiring kind of early, like how many opportunities is he going to have to play it? I think it pencils him into the merge. I think I said that last week. But also, as we talked about with Takan telling the entire pink tribe, Mark telling everyone except Altus just confirms to everyone else, hey guys, Altus is the person that I am voting for if we go to tribal. It's us four plus him. And it's while Altus is being the hero of the fucking challenge, and they're like, yeah, let's get him out.
Yeah. Well, it's mainly to make Megan feel good because she's really not in their alliance. And so I think it's very effective. I think that Jacob really got the benefit here by then jumping in on the top and go, oh, by the way, I lied about the summit and I just didn't want to tell Altus. Yeah. That's apparently what we're doing. And I lost my vote. And so he's basically giving like no information whatsoever. Like I just have a vote, no big deal. But like he was able to reveal his secret in a way that didn't damage any of his relationships. I have to say that, it was very, very positive for Jacob that Mark made that statement.
And I think this is also like a smart time to reveal that sort of shit, because you can't like get into the nitty gritty of it. You kind of just like told this information. You've got the adrenaline running from the challenge. You're trying to have eyes on Altus. Are we gonna get immunity here because they're like so close to the other team? It's not a time where people can like pepper you with questions about it. They're just gonna go, oh, okay.
Okay, you don't know what.
And then I'm like, what else are you doing with that information? At the moment,
Can I
I think
say-
it's like it's not so
Sorry?
much, not as hard hitting. I don't think in that moment.
I agree.
Can I say, Jules, on what you mentioned about being a pre-merge idol?
Yeah.
I agree that is less threatening. Unfortunately, Kyle and Brian are having fun with the information in this season with this day 1, day 2 nonsense, which I think would throw concern into people's discussions about when these idols will be able to be played. It may be that it's straightforward merge day 2, right? That may be very straightforward, but you don't know. Merge could happen at the end of day 1. This sort of wording makes it more makes the advantages more concerning, and I think people would be reading into that.
I think they've got day 1, day 2 because they don't want people to know how many people we're merging at.
I get it, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's uncertain.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the certainty that you're professing about a pre-merge idol. It could very much be the normal
Normally, that
course.
clue is like must be played before merge, or is not good after merge.
Yeah.
But it could be good at the first merge, vote. That could be.
Yeah,
That
that's
could
what
be
I'm saying.
the
Like
night.
that's not like it's generally one or the other. Like it can be played up until and including merge, or like the day. I agree with you. Day 1, day 2 makes it a little different to what we're used to reading.
And also, when they can only be played with this many people left in the game, that can confuse people with redemption, because if you say they're going to merge at 10 and bring one person back and make it 11, if you say the last time this can be played is when there's 11 people in the game, well, is that the first time or the second time? So I don't mind it.
Liz says it's a 1-round difference. I don't disagree with that, but I think we've all played enough of these games, either online or in the real thing, that these sorts of little differences you can get fixated on. You can get paranoid about them. We
literally saw in Australian Survivor, Harry Hills did not play an advantage because he didn't understand what it meant. So
yeah, you can use this to fuel paranoia. Like, if you want it, like you're trying to get Mark out, and you say we should get rid of Mark, and then they're like, oh well, I'm not that worried about the idol. It expires, pre-merge. It's like it doesn't say pre-merge. It says day 1. What does that even mean? It's like, yeah, actually, like you can fuel concern.
So I'd just be like, oh, we'll vote him out tomorrow. If we're still in tribes tomorrow, great. If not, if we're at a merge, we'll vote him out then.
Mel's saying that most know that. Well, that's making an assumption. Every season is different. This season has had a lot of twists and turns that are different to the way Backyard has been before. Even if you just go to the way they're doing Redemption. On the prior time they did Redemption, it was multiple people doing challenges, not a one-on-one duel like we've just seen in Canberra. So the style is changing. You never know what they have up their sleeve.
Yeah. No, I don't. Look, I think you're the only one that has a massive issue here. The rest of
I don't
us
have
are
an
okay
issue.
with it.
I don't mind it. I think it's good. I think it's good for for TV. I'm just saying, from a contestant point of view, I think it makes Mark's idol a little bit more worrying.
Mm.
Can I talk about what is going on with Hayley and why she has Coke Zero? What is going on? The one thing we don't like on this podcast is people with actual food and drink during the Survivor. We don't want to see it. Nothing but rice and water.
Coke?
Just sitting there with a bottle of Coke.
I didn't see it.
Coke
I
Zero.
didn't see it.
Coke no sugar. Coke no sugar.
I did not notice that.
Don't like it.
But in my eyes, Hayley can do no wrong. She is a queen, and I love her, and she is going to win, and I will win the draft.
I tell you what, I really don't like, and this is a production thing. The side-on confessional.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Is it just for redemption?
No,
Yeah, Redemption. That was
just
Redemption.
It was just redemption.
Yeah, it was
I
Redemption.
fucking hate it. I hate
It
it.
was-
I don't
it was
like it. I
Tommy,
think it's stupid.
And it was Kath. It's that. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
also
and
Flip.
then
I think they're trying to recreate the Edge of Extinction when they did like the really close confessionals. But I didn't like it either.
I don't
I was
like
making
it.
fun of it.
I don't like it. I've written here. I'm like, hate.
See, she had Coke. Was it Megan's Coke, or were they sharing it? The Coke Give Me Love Sugar. It was definitely Coke No Zero. Coke No Sugar. Like,
I did
Yeah.
not notice the Coke, so I don't know.
I didn't notice the Coke. I did notice the side-on confessionals.
Liz-
I didn't
Yeah,
like
no, I didn't love them either.
Liz, this is our opinion about every LRG that doesn't starve them. We don't like it. We don't like it one little bit. Melbourne's the real deal.
Yeah.
The thing I wanted to say also here, well, look, we get a little flick of the Beware advantage.
Yes,
Um,
I'm excited to see that get found.
considering when this was filmed, is it going to have the dumb old like broccoli, I love soccer sort of statements associated with it? Because it's about this era of the. I'm getting questioned. Kyle says he doesn't see the Coke, but Megan's confirmed there was Coke. I'm going to be doing a screen grab for next show to show the Coke.
Put it up on our Facebook.
Okay, one thing I will say, was it the pre-game confessionals? Because there was a lot of those put in.
No, she's sitting with the tribe.
Okay, I don't know then.
Oh, it might have been Megan's. Here we go. I've incorrectly attributed it to Haley. I apologize to Haley, but there was definitely Coke at the tribe.
All right, well, look, we'll worry about that later.
Kyle now is like those guys in like Game of Thrones.
Is there anything else you want to say about the Orange Tribe before we move on?
Yeah, every challenge.
I think you're right. Oh no.
Yeah, it's gonna be stupid saying. It's gonna be trying to collect something. It's not gonna be.
The stupid saying. I don't know. Depending on what it is, it might be okay. If it's the stupid saying, I will say this: you're really relying on the fact that all three tribes are going to find it, and given how fast these things are, given the Green Tribe has barely been at their camp because they've been at tribal the whole time. I think you run the risk of someone not finding it unless you're going to be like, here's where it is. Hey, do a confessional right here, right on this log. You're running the risk that it doesn't get found, and then someone may have lost their vote for several rounds. So I hope that it's got nothing to do with the other tribes.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Let's go to the summit now. Are we right for the summit?
There's a little thing of the Green Tribe where they're doing a group idol hunt, and they're getting.
I just said the Green Tribe.
Say that's a group of like women who just love Survivor. Like all the professionals talking about their love of Survivor. I was like these women, they just love it so much. Like I was like,
that would be me.
Yeah,
it would
like how cool is this? Like to be on Survivor. I love Survivor. I'm all about Survivor. I was like, oh, these women, I love it.
It would have been good though if Jess and Zoe could have picked up a couple of green shirts for Mel and Kath, because their shirts weren't really green.
Look, green is a broad color, okay? Kath's was more of a yellow-green.
We haven't got to the challenge. Haley, we're not at the challenge yet. We're at the summit.
Oh, don't worry, Haley. You'll get a shout-out.
Don't worry. You're going to get your moment.
Don't you worry.
It's like they are not talking about me enough. If she's
we're not there yet, but once we get there, you'll get all your flowers.
The challenge is coming. We do it in a weird order. Okay, so the summit. I loved Mark's play here to make sure Altus didn't go. It had to be someone different. He said, well, I went last time. Not him. Jacob went last time. I want to have a woman go this time. And that means it's not Altus. It means it can be Haley or Megan, who feels really good about either way. I thought that was such a...
coming from him because it means he doesn't get to go.
Yeah, he's not saying I want to go. He's saying, one of the girls should go. One of you two should go.
Yeah, we'll have a woman.
Yeah. Very smart. I really like that, Mark.
He's playing very smart.
Yeah, but he's in line for the orca. He's our next orca. I'm feeling it now.
He doesn't crumple under pressure. He's very cool, calm, and collected when confronted. He is reading strategy. He's reading players. He's very for one person who was selected quite far, late in the list, is he playing a very impressive game early up.
We get Pink saying that they're going to send Coach because they trust him, and then we get an interesting Tara confessional saying you can't trust a super trustworthy person because she said the word trust about 1 million times. But I liked her point of no one trusts her, so when they talk to her, they're always thinking hang on, is she telling me the truth? But you're not going to have those thoughts with someone like Coach, and he could easily be fooling all of you. So I really liked that little insight from Tara, even though she was looking at the camera the entire time she was doing it.
I think she knows. I think it's a good insight, but I think she knows in her gut that Coach is not playing any of them. Little comment from Mark that I think is really good. Adding on to what we've just complimented on him, he said that means next time he goes, if they follow the male, female, or they turn on him and they're sending Altus, right? So it's like an extra level of smart there. Very impressed, Mark. Mark may be too good of a player for the orca. This is a potential factor.
Hey, excuse me. Do not mention that. That was my argument for Loz. There is apparently no such thing as too good of a player for the orca.
Okay.
I will fight you on that.
Yeah, but the difference was Loz's gameplay was just to boss everyone around and they listened. Mark is a lot more stealthy and strategic. That's why Eden didn't win it either, because he was stealthy and strategic. Mark is stealthy and strategic. He's not in your face bossing them around.
He's still very orca. Anyway, and yeah, basically they just decided for green that Kath was going to go. They trust her, and there wasn't really much.
We got the same from Megan that we're pumping up Mark's ego, and I think.
Oh no, he'll be taken down a peg. Don't worry.
I think she's implying that Mark's ego doesn't need pumping up.
Doesn't need,
no, but look, I'm someone with an ego, and I need to pump up sometimes too. Look, we're not immune. We need to feel good about ourselves. So I'm here. I'm happy to pump up my fellow egomaniacs with positivity. So you go, Mark. You know, now he's like.
I'll tell you what, though. Haley's given the author energy by asking us to talk about her in the challenge.
Yes, well, we're going to the challenge. Hey, look, Haley's a contender for Orca.
I love it.
Can we talk about the summit? Like, let's go back to like summit.
Sorry,
the people who are fucking. I mean, we did this when Coach played his shot in the dark and chose not to participate in the game. He gets chosen to go to the summit, and again, he's just like, no, I don't want to do it. And I'm just like, I can't, and I will rant about it till the day I die. And you cannot change your mind. The people who choose not to participate in a game that is about participating and playing will be the end of me.
Okay, on this one, I don't hate it as much just because there is a risk involved. You could potentially lose your vote.
Yes, I understand that, but based off his lead up to this, I feel it's going to be continuous throughout the game. He's just going to continue. No, I don't want to be involved in this. How do you? I mean, I don't see him getting to the end, but if you get to the end, what do you say? Like, I was there and I never did anything. Like, that's not a winning story to tell.
No one's going to vote for him to win. You could easily make.
We sometimes forget.
I'm like, you shouldn't play this game unless you're trying to win.
Yeah, no, we've had that. We don't understand that, but there are people that are like that.
I don't. It will never compute in my head, no matter how many people give me different opinions. I don't understand any other thought than being there to win.
Oh, Eden, shut up! Don't mention Gabler on this. I don't like it.
Gabler did something. I don't think that.
I don't want to talk about Gabler. I'll cry.
Coach is not going to have a move that he can point to as his move, right? Unless he shocks us all. But the fact is, look, I agree on. Sorry, in the chat, Cass trying to be defending her color shirt. Mel just said it was
like a yellow green.
Yep.
Mel's was a blue green.
Yeah, look, I agree with you, Danny. I didn't mind the shot in the dark so much, but I think on this one,
I hated that one.
If you don't want to take the risk, that's fine. That's part of the game. But it seemed like he wasn't really worried about the risk. He was just sort of like worried about like, I'm just not here for this.
We'll get to that. Don't hurry us.
Did you agree? It was very different. It's just like, yeah, I'm not really worried about losing my vote, but I'm not going to be getting advantages, you know.
Yeah, I don't think him choosing to play was risk adverse here. I just think he just didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
he didn't want advantage. He didn't want a disadvantage. He didn't want anything. He was like,
he's there to help the tribe. Apparently, he doesn't help the tribe by having zero information.
Exactly.
You get the information if you play the game. And
because if you don't play, you've got to go straight away. So we can't even tell them what they chose to do.
We saw him last week talking about if I find an idol, it's for the tribe. Well, if you get an advantage, you can use that to help your tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I enjoy Kath here saying I'm not giving Megan a straight shot and an advantage. Like if you go, I go. Episode title. I really enjoyed that from Kath. We see that strategic mind that she was talking about before the emotion takes over. I really enjoyed that from Kath. I thought that was very impressive. As much as it didn't work out for her, I was impressed.
We saw Jess say to her, like, did you really lose your vote? Because if you've got an extra vote, we can do something. Do we think if Kath got the extra vote, would that have been enough to flip Jess and Zoe to keep her?
100%.
So I think, she made the right call to go for it.
Yeah. She's an extra vote. No worries.
She lost.
Because they can do it without Zoe. Like if Zoe doesn't come on board, then she's on the bottom of the three.
Yeah.
But I would think they would keep her to keep the extra vote as something they can use as a tool later.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, you go to her, say, this is what we want to do. This is like our plan. Let's keep this for us for later if we want to do something. But if you're not with us, we're going to use it now and get Mel anyway. And then you're going to be out your ass.
Yeah.
Kyle wants us to talk about them not sharing the information.
Yeah, we're going to get there. So we're there now. You know, we've seen that Megan and Kath. All right. Megan and Kath, they go for it. And Kath is like, oh, do you want to open it now? And Megan's like, no, I'm good. I'm right.
Yeah, that's a bit boring, but I get it. I think
I
don't think you're building relationships by doing that. I don't think you're building connections that you can use later by not sharing it together. I think I would be surprised to find out that I could open it together. And I think if I was told that, I would say, let's do it. Let's build a bond here. If you get the wrong thing and you want to make up a lie about it, I'm happy to help. If I get the right thing, or you get the right thing and you want to make up a lie about it, I'm happy to help. Let's work together here. Particularly as David's gone, it's just going to tell everyone everything anyway. Let's.
Well, David doesn't know because David had to leave.
He's gone, so we have to worry about spilling beans.
But yeah, Kath is going to go back and reveal, hey, I don't have a vote. Jess immediately knows that Megan has an extra vote now. Jess knows, 100%. So I think, you're right that you're better off opening together, coming up with a story. I think it wouldn't have mattered too much. I think Kath was always going to go back, be honest, and that would have given Jess the information she needed, but still.
Yeah.
Haley's asking, did Meg tell us she got an advantage? I don't think we saw. That might be next episode. We didn't see that.
Yeah, we see her unsure if she wants to tell them or not, but we don't see whether she does.
Then we get just a little confessional from Kath where she's like, "Oh, I've lost my vote. Hope we win the challenge." And I'm like, "Oh, hon, you guys aren't winning this challenge. I don't even need to see the challenge to know the outcome."
Oh, God,
sorry, love.
So if we go to the challenge, once again, I'm gonna give positive feedback for the challenge. I liked this challenge. I particularly liked the element of that you didn't have to slingshot all the sandbags, just as many as you wanted.
I agree. Loved it.
But yes, Haley, time for you to have your flowers. Yes, you absolutely crushed it. Caught every single thing. I know we've talked about that you played rugby and you played everything else. Did you play cricket as well? Because fuck, you were catching everything.
It's just a hand-eye coordination. Your hands are in the right spot. You bang in.
Her catching was elite. I think Mark was launching. If you don't want to give Mark more credit, his launching was good. And Tara's throwing was also amazing. Who knew Tara was so good at throwing?
Yeah, I was like the arm on Tara. I only have a note being like Tara with the arm, like elite, fantastic. Mel with the slingshot.
I thought it was really unfair that Mel was bad on the slingshot and then Jess was giving her shit for giving up on it too quickly. No, if you're not good at it, just get the fuck out.
Okay. Some inside information. I was watching this episode with Mel, and she was saying that the biggest issue they were having is that Kath wasn't pulling it tight enough, and that was the reason they were struggling to launch it. So, that's
there you go. There you go, Kath. Live on air, Mel has put you to the task, and she's blaming you for her failures on the slingshot.
Look, I think two people need to be pulling it, so if Mel's on the other end of that,
all three need to be as taut as possible.
Yeah,
like for that to work.
Well, Dave, it is. Mel was bad at the slingshot, and it wasn't her fault.
I also want to flick back, like when I was watching it, and they're doing the throwing, and none of them can throw, which was the Green Tribe. And then I was like, but isn't Zoe a netballer? But I was like, no, she's an umpire. It's a different thing. So I was like, what the fuck is Zoe a netball arm?
No one umpires netball that didn't play netball.
But that's why I was. But she specifically says I umpire netball. She didn't say I play and umpire. Like I play coach and umpire. Like I've done all three. When you specify you just umpire, you're generally just an umpire.
Netball is too complicated that no one who hasn't played umpires. You'd get everything wrong.
Well, then I'm even more disappointed because I'm like, where the fuck is the netball arm here?
Because it was a little thing. She's used to doing a two-handed sort of like.
You don't throw two-handed in netball as an adult. What are you talking about? You throw with one hand over the shoulder.
You do it under nines, Maybe that was the last time Zoe played.
Don't
she's not a player. Then I go back and I'm like, okay, I understand. If she still plays, I'm very disappointed. If she's just an umpire, okay.
I would be chest passing.
They had one sandbag. One sandbag. There was nothing they could do.
But none of them hit it anyway. They all sucked.
But he did it with the bag. Then he did shit with it.
Zach says one was a mistake, but I don't know. I thought it was
they struggled to get that one.
I thought it was the right call to go with the one, to be honest.
I think if they tried for another, they wouldn't have even got to throwing
Just
anything.
go. I like that. Well, the one thing
That's
I
what I
say
liked about the challenge.
What do we think about the idol, which is sort of like a model of a well, which looks a bit shit? Sorry. Can we say something bad about the production?
It's one well. It's in line with the theme.
Yeah, but there's two wells. There's two of them. Look, That was at one well, and then you get, oh, here's a well, and here's another well. I'm like, 2 wells. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't like the
think
idols.
it works for the idol.
I think they're shit.
And whatever.
All right.
Mel is just fucking throwing everybody under the bus. She's
Jesus,
like,
Mel, it was not your fault, was it?
It's not my
Oh,
fault.
Mel's
I didn't-
being-
Mel's like, these bitches.
Girl, I don't think it mattered. I think if you could have had every single bag, you still wouldn't have won that challenge.
And Jess, of course, blamed Mel for like giving up on the slingshot too early. But if you're not good,
Yeah, that
you
was
get off.
interesting because if you're not doing well at a part of a challenge, swap
Get
out.
off.
That's what you got to
Get
do.
off.
100%.
The worst player is the one that wants to keep doing it, even though they're not any good. Just acknowledge you've done you're not good at this, and get
Someone
someone
else give it a go.
Yeah. So I felt that one was hard on Jess, but otherwise we all know now, live and true, that none of the challenge mistake failure was on Mel. None whatsoever. We've all got that clear. Mel,
Yeah, you
Mel made
all
sure
sucked.
it's like.
I stand by
Did
it,
he-
Kyle. Sorry. I stand by
Did
it.
you make the
I
actual
still like
well,
it.
Kyle? Because the actual was good. Had some lost numbers on it too. Anyway, so do we have anything else for the episode before we determine the Brommy for the episode and make our predictions for who's going next week?
I don't really think so. Just the girls not knowing if she could play a shot in the dark or not. I was just like, oh, girls, you claim to be super fans. You should know this.
No, Shot in the Dark's for early, but anyway, this isn't like
it's
7,
really
8 seasons of Shot in the Dark.
isn't it?
But you can
Yeah,
ask production these questions. Like, newsflash, you can go and ask the producer how the
I
rules of the
guarantee you,
game
Mel would
affect
have known.
But I'm just saying, you can ask someone there going, I'm not really sure how Shots in the Dark work. Can you explain it to me?"
Yes. I'm finally able to join, and this is what I come into. I take
Which call-
responsibility.
which
for that
call-
call. Jess,
The-
look,
the-
I don't think it mattered. I don't think that was what lost you the challenge. I
I
think
don't know which call she's...
every element of
she's-
that challenge wasn't working for you.
I don't know what call, though, she's talking about, because we've been giving her a compliment for a few.
Mel was saying the one sandbag was her call.
I think that was the right call. I stand by it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm getting another one. Okay, so that's the episode done. Now, last week we did predictions of who was going to go out next week. Did I have the Green Tribe, and did I
You did, you
predict
said
a
no.
Kath? Well, that's what should have happened. I stand by my position. Okay.
Hey, we should
Okay.
rotate tribes though. You
Okay.
don't, because I did orange, Daddy did pink, you did green. We should rotate. So
Okay, I'll
CJ,
take-
do pink.
Pink. They're going to vote out David because Tara wants to throw the challenge. I think Tara wants to throw the challenge, which they're going to do, and then they're actually going to vote out Kate. Screw Tara over.
Ooh. All right, so Danny, that gives you orange.
Orange. Ooh.
I was giving
So-
myself green. That's the easy one.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, give yourself the easy
I didn't mean
one.
to do that.
I think it's still Altus because I
Yeah.
feel like Mark gets suspicious of Haley and Jacob coming for him.
Yeah, and
plays
look,
an
if
idol.
it's green. Unless Mel finds the idol or plays her shit in the dark and successfully hits, I think she's gone next.
Wouldn't that be good if Mel's Shot in the Dark hits? So these are pointless. What a waste of time.
This is so stupid. Oh, safe. Look at that. Do we have a Brommy? I can't think of a Brommy.
I
for
don't
this
know one
episode.
here.
Just based on her comments in the chat, I'm happy to give it to Haley.
Yeah, I want to give it to Haley too.
Yeah, we're done.
Just to be
can we
like,
talk
can we talk about me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interested though with our like our boot order and stuff.
Oh, shut up, Danny.
But Kath didn't vote. So like with her going, whoever has it gets no
Oh.
points.
You get no
That's all right.
points.
So Kath will get back in. I still get
Oh.
points for voting. I still get the bonus points anyway.
You
She's
don't
not
get any
out yet. She'd get back in.
I know, but just saying. I've got my boot order going and I'm writing down the number of votes.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
no,
at the
you-
moment, there's no bonus points. She did
You-
all the votes of
can't-
that tribal council were for her.
You can't do her yet 'cause she's not out of the game. You can only do Tommy.
I know, but you still need to make note of the points, like
Yes.
so that.
I
Yeah.
don't get a bonus vote there because I think we
But
did
yes,
double
I remember
apply
Canberra
before.
started the same way that Danny didn't lose anyone for a very long time, and
That was not what I was trying to get to. I was really asking about the
You're an
Kath
orca though, so
number.
of course you were going
Look,
there.
to be honest, I'm not great on these live drafts.
No,
I feel bad when they're in the chat and no one's picking them, and I pick these people that maybe aren't the best players. And,
don't
and
make
yet-
excuses.
I'm too much of a softie, believe it or not. I have a heart, despite all reports.
I still stand behind every pick I made, even though I had a couple that were bad choices. But
Talk
that's
about
all right.
Mark though. Mark's good. I like that I got Mark on my team.
Mark was an
Okay.
oversight by all of us. I agree.
Yes. All right.
Yes,
So,
agreed.
All right.
and you can tell how much he was seething in the chat that he got picked
It
second
was
last.
unhappy.
Imagine if I picked
Oh,
Altus
yeah.
over him after all their little feud. He would have been like ridiculous. Last picked Mr. Irrelevant. He would have been livid. Anyway, it's now time for everyone's favorite segment. The third episode of TWIOLSH. I'm going to drop out Dani, and we're bringing in one of the most famous faces in the Australian LRG community, a host of one of the shows going all the way back to when these started in 2017-ish. And somehow this person is so relevant to Survivor that, I don't know if you know this, Jules, but she's managed to get herself on the official Australian Survivor Hall of Fame committee, and they determine who should be in the Hall of Fame each year based on Survivor performances. And
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
That's
she's on
awesome.
Facebook sometimes, doing these picks, and she's on this committee. Liz is an absolute. God's sake, Kyle.
Kyle,
said
2018
sort
minus points for CK.
So,
yeah, -1 to start with.
One of the most famous faces, host of many seasons, and of course, a former backyard player. I think she's there, but her camera's a bit funky, so sort out your camera before I bring you in. There we go. Okay, maybe she's doing something. Okay, the former player, it's Liz. Oh, it's not Liz, it's PM. Hey, Liz, welcome
What's
to
up?
the show.
Thank you. Whoa.
All right, are you
Guys,
ready to take CK down? Oh, there's people in the background just to yell at. Are you ready to take CK down?
What?
Are you ready to take CK down?
Absolutely not.
Can
I'm not
you boost this
prepared.
mic? We need to hear your voice, Liz.
Can't hear
Pump
you
up
that
the
well.
volume.
You know, I've watched most things and stuff. I call people out when I think they're wrong about a trivia thing. But I'm also scared.
Okay. Do you need a refresher on the rules, or have you been following along to understand what's going on?
Yes, I need a refresher.
Okay. So there are questions from every single LRG except for Melbourne 1 because there's not enough episodes. Basically, we have the.
She's wandered up.
Not
Yeah.
enough episodes, my son.
There was only one. We have every question. I'll ask you the question. You can choose to answer it without any options, and you will get 2 points if you get it right. If you get it wrong, though, CK will have the opportunity to steal, and he will get 1 point. Or you can choose to hear the multiple choice options, and then if you get it right, you only get 1 point. But if you get it wrong, CK can't steal. The other bonus you have for being the guest is you get to choose the questions that you answer and the questions that CK answers. So the 4 mandatory questions are the 4 previous seasons of Backyard. All the questions will come from episode 3. So, Liz, would you like to choose for yourself Backyard 1, 2, 3, or 4 for the first question?
Okay, actually. Yeah, I'll go Backyard 3.
I'm shocked that you asked that
Episode
question.
3. Your starring
I
moment.
wasn't there for a lot of it, but, you know.
Yeah, look, I hate to tell you this. You weren't there for the question I'm going to ask, but that's all right.
Ooh.
So, fun fact, when I was writing all the questions for episode 3, we had 5 tribe swaps and 3 double boots in all of
it's a lot of
these.
stuff.
Pause this for a second, because in the other room, I have Tara and Mel watching this, and I'm just hearing everything that's being said.
Okay.
Yeah, can you guys mute, please? Because she can't hear you.
I also need to remove the comments.
Yeah,
I'm
remove the
removing them
comments.
now.
Although
And
they're not
also,
that helpful.
Also, I don't want Liz and Mel shouting out answers. Sorry, Tara and Mel
Yeah.
shouting out answers. I want a legit competition, please.
Yeah, nah. Well, I assume I can't phone a friend at any point.
No.
No, you
no.
can't. This is all you.
All good. Yeah.
All
I
right,
think
so the
they
backyard
have
3
the
question.
Yeah.
So the backyard 3, we had a double tribal at the Orange tribe, which was not your tribe.
Yeah.
Kath was voted out 6-2 over Caitlin. Other than Kath, who was the only other person to vote for Caitlin?
I should really know this. The only other person to vote for Caitlin. Oh, it was Was it Raphael?
It was not Raphael.
No, that's
Steele?
who Kath thought it was.
I didn't hear what
CK?
she said. Ben?
It was Ben. Correct. You get a point.
Yeah.
Well
That was
done.
wild.
All right. So, Liz, would you like CK to answer about Backyard 1, 2, or 4?
Let's go 2.
2. We also had a double tribal on Backyard 2. We had an individual immunity challenge where they had to balance a ball on a disc or standing on a ledge. It was down to 1 from each tribe, but one person got to stay on and win the reward for their tribe. They were from the green tribe. Who was it that won?
Tristan.
That's correct. You get 2 points.
John was the other person.
All right, calm down. All right, Liz, 1 or 4?
1 or 4? Let's go 4.
4. All right, so in episode 3, Casper found the clue to the idol for the yellow tribe. We saw that the clue was hidden in the same spot at the other tribes. Where was the clue hidden?
Was it around the well, like in one of the bricks?
It was not. CK.
It's hidden in the tribe flags.
It was in the tribe flag. The idol itself was hidden in the well, but the clue was in the flag. All right, CK, you get Backyard 1, where we didn't have a double tribal, but we did have a tribe swap. So after the swap, the challenge saw blindfolded tribe members gathering blocks, and then they had to do the puzzle with the blocks stacked and no repeating colors. Who did the puzzle for the new red tribe, winning them the challenge?
New red. I'm trying to remember who's on this new red tribe. This one I don't know off the top of my head. I'm trying to think who was on this new red tribe. I think Rosie might have been on it, and that's sort of where my head is going. But in my back of my head is telling me somebody else did the success here. I think it was the girl who was hungover. What's her name? Emma?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Rosie was one of the options, but she was on the other tribe. I don't think she even got to doing the puzzle. All right, so Liz, you're going to need to come back hard. You're going to need to steal. And then I think
hang on. How's the stealing thing going to get it? I'm on 8 points.
You're on 6 points. Calm down.
Hang on. What do you mean? I got them all right.
Yeah, you only get 1 point for stealing, not 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. But Liz, you can go to any season that you want outside of Backyard.
Outside of Backyard, any season.
Yeah. Well, we've covered all of Backyard.
All right. Right. Let's do Warren Diet. Melbourne 2.
I'm frozen. I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but I'm gone.
No, you're not frozen. I can hear
okay,
you.
good. I couldn't hear what Liz was saying. Sorry.
She wants Warren Diet.
Warren Diet. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I made the Melbourne questions kind of hard, but that's all right.
That's okay.
So, Melbourne 2. When Liam and Jason attended the challenge with sticks and leaves in their hair, what did Calvin describe them as?
Oh, like something to do with coach, like secondhand coach.
That is incorrect.
What? I swear he said that.
CK, do you want to steal?
I think it's not secondhand coach. It's like Kmart coach or something. But I actually don't think that's what Calvin said. I think that was Tara's quote, which I think was a really amazing quote. It should have been the episode title. Yeah. I don't know what Calvin said though. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, you're all around it because Tara's quote was the second coming of $2 coach.
Second coming of $2 coach. There we go.
Yeah, I decided to just throw it in there. What Calvin said was they look like absolute idiots.
That's not very memorable, Calvin.
CK, to your final question, do you have the wheel ready?
Actually, I don't know if I can. Hang on, give me a second. Sorry. I should have it. I'm just working off one screen, which is not usually what I do. Okay, this should work. Present the screen, the wheel.
Yeah, I really wanted to work that Tara quote.
Can you guys see the wheel? Yes.
Yes.
All right. I've removed Warrandyte, so let's spin the wheel. Give me playing with fire. Oh, come on. Yeah.
Oh, damn it. All right, playing with fire. Where we also had another tribe swap. What I called the most unfair tribe swap in all of Survivor. We had Chloe and Laurel as captains, picking their new tribes. All of the yellow members were chosen first. Who was the first member from Original Red to be chosen?
From Original Red, sorry.
I shouldn't have to think as hard about it, but I want to make sure I don't stuff it up because that would be very embarrassing. Obviously, all the yellows were chosen, and then so it would have been Annabelle, and then Laurel had another pick, and the first red he picked was Caitlin.
That is correct.
She picked was Caitlin.
That is correct. I love Laurel and what's playing with Waco. All right, so with a score of 8-0, well done, CK.
Thanks for coming on, Liz. Appreciate the challenge.
I might have made the questions too hard.
Look.
The Warrandyte one, I knew you'd pick it, so I made it funny.
That's so hard. Okay,
I wanted to work in the second coming of the $2 coach because I just loved that quote.
You should have just had that as the question, the $2 coach
But I
thing.
couldn't think of alternate answers, so I'm like, all right, that can be my funny, wrong answer.
You did well. I made sure
I said Calvin.
Thank you, Liz, for coming.
Study? And I'm like, nah.
Studying is important. Thank
So
you
if
for coming.
who's coming on in the future, I would study.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming
You
on,
get all
Liz.
the choices, so we'll just pick 2 backyard episodes and one other one, and you will be fine.
Yeah, you only need to study 3 seasons. That's really good advice. I have to study everything. Yeah.
And I was going to, and then some people were like, nah, why would you study?
Just watch the episodes. It's fine.
Thank you for coming on, Liz. Really enjoyed that. That was really fun. And we'll be seeing you again soon. I hopefully, with the premiere of the Jules season. I know she's very keen to see it at some point. So thank you very much for coming on. We'll see you out, but thank you again.
No, it's loving the pod. Cheers.
Thanks, Liz.
I literally, one of the last things I said to her, I was just like, you should probably study the episode 3 of the OLRGs. And she was like, I will.
You need to watch 3. Just pick 2 of backyard and one other one.
I need to know them all, but I like that.
You need to do all of them.
Yeah, but then I need to 3. That's really good. Well, thank you for everyone who joined us live. We had a big attendance here at one point, so thank you very much. Love seeing all your comments, really active in the comments tonight, which is wonderful. But thank you also to everyone watching this later on or listening to it. We continue to appreciate your support, particularly if you weren't a contestant of the season, tuning in, watching the season, being part of our show. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you to everyone that's in the cast who's giving us such a great season, and of course the production. Thank you, Dani and Jules, for joining me as always, and Jules with your wonderful questions. I'm loving TWIOLSH. It's actually the highlight of my week, and it's not just because I destroy all these noobs at it. It's just a wonderful time of trivia, and I'm
I
enjoying
reckon
it.
next week you might have your work cut out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's look into next week if someone can take me on. To be fair, I did lose the first week, so it's been more enjoyable since then. But I've been enjoying it nonetheless. We will be back next week on Wednesdays, and we'll be on Wednesdays from there on. Once we get through this holiday period, of course, the show will continue to be on Sundays. We'll be podcasting on Wednesday, so we will see you next Wednesday, and thank you for joining us.